Greetings. Today, I would like to talk about Pisces, the truth about Pisces. We've got several reasons to be thinking about Pisces right now. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, February 23rd. So, today, among other things, we have Mars stationing direct in Cancer. That's not about Pisces. But Mars is moving direct or stationing, which means it's stopping in order to change directions and move direct in Cancer, which is a water sign. Cancer, the sign of caring and family and protecting the safety and the parts of us that are vulnerable, our needs for safety, protecting members of society that are more vulnerable, and how we think about that, what that looks like. So that's Mars. And I talked about Mars last week during my Zoom out video, my Astro perspective video that was on Sunday. I've got it here, February 16th. So check that out if you missed that for more about Mars stationing direct in Cancer. But as I mentioned today, I want to talk about Pisces in part because we have coming up this week a new moon in Pisces. We also, for today, have a moon in Capricorn. As you know, the moon moves quickly through the signs. So it's only in Capricorn for a couple of days, 2.5 days about. And however, it's a good time to talk about Pisces because the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. And Saturn right now is in Pisces along with Neptune and Mercury. So we do have a new moon coming up this week in Pisces. That will be on Thursday, February, 27th at 4:44 p.m. Pacific time. So that is the exact new moon at 9 degrees Pisces. We also have, on that new moon, the sun will be obviously at 9 degrees Pisces. Saturn will be at 20 degrees Pisces. Mercury at 24 degrees Pisces. Neptune at 28 degrees and 51 minutes Pisces. So we're kind of covering a lot of the Pisces spectrum with all the planets that are hanging out there. And the Pisces energy is important in the big picture because of Neptune. So Neptune is, as I mentioned, at the very end of Pisces, 28 degrees, 51 minutes as of the exact new moon on Thursday. And soon Neptune will be at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is the last degree of the last sign of the zodiac. So what does that mean? It's that entry point, that point where we release old ways of being, old identities in preparation for new beginnings. That new beginning that will happen once Neptune goes into Aries on March 30th. So we've got just about a month of Neptune in that final degree of Pisces. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011, so it stays in a sign for a long time. Neptune is the god of the seas. It is about that bigger picture of flow and the great ocean of being, of transcendence and spirituality. It is also about letting go of the ordinary, the everyday, the systems and structures that operate, sort of in the physical realm, and accessing that bigger picture of spirit and spiritual energy. So that's the planet Neptune, and Neptune is in the sign of Pisces. So you take the planet that has to do with transcending boundaries, connecting with the oneness of all, dissolving boundaries and structures. You put that in the sign of Pisces, which is also about that bigger picture of spirituality, of interconnectedness, of recognizing that in the end, there is no separation. All the categories and ways that we have of being divided, all of that dissolves in the sign of Pisces. And if we are working with this energy in the most positive way possible, we recognize our interconnectedness, our interdependence, the way that we are truly all one, all of the same essence, and any categories or groups that we get put into is all kind of an artificial thing that we do for our various social constructs and whatnot. So we can we can get into why we do that and what all that stuff, but the purpose here is to talk about Pisces. So Pisces is, again, that is the highest potential for Pisces, is for us to recognize that we are more than our physical bodies, that we are connected to a bigger universal picture, whether that is God or nature or mythology, whatever is gives you that feeling, whatever helps you feel that sense of interconnectedness is what Pisces energy is about. And that is what the invitation to step into the higher possibilities of Pisces. We might say the soul's lessons of Pisces. And I do have a free download available for the soul lessons of all the different signs. So check that out in my description of this video. But for Pisces, that is the invitation is to recognize that our little ego selves here in the everyday world are truly, part of something bigger. We might think that the things we have or own or have accomplished here in this physical life have meaning, but in there's the ocean of being reminds us that all that can be taken away. I mean, it will be taken away when we die, right? So there is, and what is that? What lies beyond this life? Those are some questions that Neptune is comfortable with, right? So how you answer those questions is the realm of Pisces. So okay, so we've got, as I mentioned, multiple things going on here. So a new moon in Pisces means that we are in the part of the year, because every year there's a new moon in Pisces. So we are at the part of the year where we are resetting how we approach those themes of spirituality, of transcendence, of what it looks like to be connected to a bigger picture, of what our hearts know that our minds can't quite wrap themselves around, right? It's that bigger picture of interconnectedness or connection to something that gives meaning to your life that is more than the here and now. So the downside of Pisces, the thing that can be a pitfall of Pisces energy, or the more lower vibration of possibility that is part of what Pisces brings also, is a loss of direction. So sense of confusion, a disorientation, things where we lose touch with what anchors and bounds us. We can have things dissolve that used to provide structure to our lives. And so you have things, and I've talked about this in the past, you have things like disinformation, misinformation, lying as a way of creating the truth. And these kinds of things that show up in society, confusion about what is the truth, confusion about what is right, some of these things that used to be clear and black and white in the past are more muddy now. And how do we decide, and who decides, and what story do we listen to, and how do we orient ourselves, right? What is our compass? And remember that before we had compasses, we used to navigate by the stars and the sky. So what is that? It's the bigger picture. It's beyond what is here and now. And so when we can check in with that bigger picture, it can help us to orient, to navigate, to know what is what, which direction we want to go, and how to do that. So Pisces is about how we are navigating and what we are listening to and what gives us that sense of meaning, of purpose, of direction in the bigger picture. Again, not having to do with the tangible attachments here on earth, right? The things we might accumulate or achieve or feel good about in the short term, day to day, but that bigger picture of what we care about and why. So in that place where you're talking about spirituality, themes of love come into the picture, themes of your love for the people in your life, for people around you, the love that you have for humanity. Even it's these bigger picture questions. So Pisces invites us to connect with what gives us meaning in that bigger picture, and it has the potential, the pitfall, the the possibility to feel lost, to feel that sense of finding something as a here and now answer that is not in that bigger picture. So a classic example for Pisces would be using some sort of substance that gives you a rush, a good feeling, that initial or immediate feeling of good feelings. And so using that substance to create that good feeling as a substitute for recognizing how to do that in the bigger picture to connect with your own sense of meaning and purpose. And sometimes the need for that immediate quick fix might come in because we have a difficult relationship with our own bigger picture of meaning, or we're afraid of loss. And again, there's a lot we could get into there, but to talk about Pisces is to recognize that we have this choice between the lower possibilities of Pisces and the higher possibilities of Pisces. And so what are the easy answers, just in terms of information that you're taking in and the information that's available in the world around you, and whatever is giving you an easy answer, a quick fix, a short headline that makes you feel good or even makes you outraged, but that engages you, right? Those are the kinds of things we want to pay attention to, because there is a bigger picture, there is a more complicated truth. And as we work to build a more loving world, we need to confront the bigger picture of where things get more complex, where we need to understand things a little more deeply, and remember what our own, what stars we are using to navigate our lives. And so what is that bigger picture of meaning and truth? So we've got this new moon on Thursday, February 27th, new moon in Pisces, bringing us in to this Pisces energy. So we'll be thinking about these themes, as well as we've got Neptune heading into that final degree of Pisces. So just for some context here, Pluto was in the final degree of Capricorn as we went through a lot of shift and change and reckoning. So, a planet that is in the last degree of a sign is kind of a point of reckoning. It's a point of completion of the work you've been doing. It's also recognizing what you haven't finished. What is the work that you are going to be carrying forward with you into the next sign? What are you needing to come to terms with and be honest with yourself about? What is not yet complete, or what is coming up to the surface, to recognize, okay, yeah, I need to be honest with myself about the work that I'm still doing in this area. So that's the reckoning part. There's also a sense of completion, of finishing up the work. And in this case, we're talking about the work of Neptune in Pisces. So these themes of how we understand the bigger picture of meaning, of truth, of how we take in information, where that information comes from, what's behind that information, these bigger picture questions. And so, if you recall, when Pluto was in the final degree of Capricorn, which very interestingly to me, not only was Pluto in the final degree of Capricorn during the November election in the United States, but also in the years preceding that election. So throughout 2023 and 2024, we had a total of 197 days of Pluto being in Capricorn. So what's that, like 2/3 of a year, a little more than so anyway, a lot of time that Pluto was not just in Capricorn, but at 29 degrees Capricorn. So the 29th degree of a sign is called the anaretic degree, and it has this special potency, and you can have one in your natal chart, and it can indicate some things about where you are bringing potency through your life. And we could always explore that in a private session, but with Pluto in the final degree of Capricorn, we had this sort of process of things coming to the surface, things being recognized about Pluto in Capricorn, what was being completed, what was not yet complete, whereas the work that we are still doing to work on the foundations of systems and structures, of institutions, of government, of politics, of who we are, and knowing who we are and where we stand and what our foundations are. So that over those 197 days throughout 2023 and 2024, we had that energy of Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees saying, what are you going to be working on as Pluto heads into Aquarius? What do you care about? What matters to you? Where do you stand? And these questions of what are the foundations? What are the structures? Where do we need to work on those structures? So you can see those are some pretty powerful themes now that Pluto is in Aquarius, of what we are working on, what we have brought with us from the time that Pluto was in Capricorn. So that is background to help you understand that Neptune is going into the 29th degree of Pisces. Also last year spent some time at 29 degrees Pisces. So this is a time when, again, some of these same energies coming to the surface, some completion around these themes of what is the bigger picture, what matters, what does your heart care about, how is that story being told, where are you getting the information, how are you orienting, how are you navigating, what are you listening to, what helps you know what the truth is, and reconsidering, right? So asking yourself, where am I getting my information? What do I believe? What do I connect to? in terms of that bigger picture and what matters and what my heart cares about and what I love and who I love. And how is that translating into work that will happen once Neptune goes into Aries? So this is not the last time Neptune will be at 29 degrees Pisces, because this summer, after Neptune spends some time in early Aries, it will retrograde back into Pisces. Saturn also going into Aries, and then next year the two will come together in a conjunction. Hang on one second here. Okay. Right. So gotta heed the call of the cat when the cat wants out, because she's very loud. Okay, so Neptune and Saturn both will be going into Aries, then retrograding back into Pisces, then joining up together in Aries in 2026. So March is interesting for many reasons. One, because we have this Pisces new moon. Two, because, and these are not in any particular order, but two, because Neptune will be in the last degree of Pisces, bringing things to a head, showing us where the work is not yet complete, showing us what we need to continue working on, where we need to keep getting clear about what that bigger picture of meaning is and how we navigate and what we understand and believe, and whether we're going for the quick fix or the bigger picture that has more meaning in the long term. And so that was the second thing. And the third thing is the eclipse, the lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 14th. So halfway through this Pisces moon cycle, we have a lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo, as the opposite of Pisces, brings that spiritual, bigger picture into the everyday. So Virgo is the chop wood, carry water sign of the zodiac. It is hands-on. It is how we attend to details. And it connects to that Pisces energy. It's the other side of the Pisces coin. And it says, how are you a living embodiment of the divine, of that bigger spiritual picture by your actions in the day-to-day world? So by making your everyday tasks something meaningful and sacred, you are creating beauty in the world. You are representing the divine in the world. And that is what Virgo energy does. So we have a lunar eclipse in Virgo opposing the moon and sun in Pisces. Also, we have Mercury going retrograde, also March 14th, 15th in, well, it will go retrograde in Aries, but it will also, it's currently in Pisces and will retrograde back into Pisces. And also we have Saturn in Pisces making its way toward Aries. So all these reasons why we should be paying attention right now to Pisces energy specifically. And thank you for bearing with me through all of this background, because all of this is laying the groundwork to understand that what is coming up in the collective is an invitation for you to be centered within yourself, to notice when something is trying to pull you off track, to ask you or convince you or confuse you or present a way that that might, manipulation is a word that comes to mind, right? Something that might be manipulative or trying to get you to orient yourself and navigate in a certain way that is not connected to your bigger picture, the bigger stars and sky, right? The bigger spiritual picture that can actually be a guide to you in understanding how to navigate according to a bigger picture, your life purpose, your connection to others, your interconnectedness, creating a more loving world. So again, this is an invitation to, and kind of a test in a way, right? It's like an invitation to ask yourself what you need to say no to. What is too simple? What is like a simple, easy answer, a quick fix, a something that gives you that easy rush, or that simple, easy answer, and to challenge yourself to say, wait a minute, what about this? And I'm going to stop and think about what really is my bigger picture of meaning, and whether this easy answer that's being presented to me is actually helping me be and create a more loving world, be more of who I am, be my creative, powerful self that is here as a soul to accomplish things in this world that are not tangible, that don't have to do with things and stuff, but the intangible impact, the way that you share and show love and meaning and caring and some of these intangible things that you actually will care about when you transition out of this life, right? So this is kind of an invitation to think about what is that bigger picture? What are you going to care about? What is going to bring meaning to your life that you're going to say, I feel good that I did that in my lifetime? And maybe it's accumulating wealth, I don't know, but I suspect that there are other things to consider here, and how you live your life, and how you make a difference for others, and how you show up as a force for kindness and love and caring and support of one another, and interconnectedness, interdependence, and how we can work together to create the systems and structures that can hold what we are becoming, because that will be the work going forward, will be to revamp, recreate, shore up, invent new ways of operating. Because with Pluto in Capricorn, many of our ways of operating revealed themselves to not be sustainable, to not be flexible enough to hold us in this bigger picture of love and human creativity and kindness, and what we are capable of when we actually work together to solve problems. For me, one example of that is the federal workforce that is under attack right now, and firings and things happening, dismantling, whatnot. And when I think about and hear the stories, what I notice and remember and know from the people that I know, and I've worked in the federal government before. So what I know is that is a place where the employment in the federal government is a place where people, not everything works perfectly, right? But in general, it's a place where people care. It's a place where people try to do a good job, where people care about what they're doing, and it's a service, right? So this is being of service to our country, to our fellow country people, our fellow citizens, I guess that's a better word. Our to help make the world around us stronger and better, with national parks, with infrastructure and roads and air traffic, and you name it. So this is what we are capable of when we work together to bring the best of our each of our own skills to work together with others who have other skills to solve problems, and to create a society that works better for everyone. And again, there are parts of this that don't work well, right? That need to adapt. And become something new for the future. So that's going to be the work that we continue to do. It will take years, and that's a whole different discussion. But that, and I've been talking here a lot about creativity and the creative process and how to think about the future in terms of what's possible, not necessarily what we know or how things have worked in the past. So this possibility to come together and see the best of humanity working to create a system and a way of operating that can be better, right? We're never going to be perfect. That's the nature of being human. But maybe we have some things to learn about how we could do it better with better boundaries and systems and institutions, etc. So those are my thoughts on Pisces. And again, bringing it back to the personal level, I don't care if you agree with my politics or not. The point here is that Pisces is about connecting with what brings a bigger picture of meaning to your life. And so that is the invitation for all of us, is to reflect on what matters to me. What does my heart want? What feels important? And to bring it into that place where I have a suspicion that many, if not most of us, want the same things, right? We, in the bigger picture, we want a world that works, that helps people, where we can build strong communities and strong families and have the support we need when we need that extra help and all those kinds of things. So this is the invitation, and thinking about Pisces, because we have some extra Pisces energy, especially throughout the month of March, and with the upcoming Pisces new moon, and then that Virgo solar eclipse on March 14th, and then another eclipse coming toward the end of March as Neptune shifts into Aries on March 30th, when we shift gears into action mode, into finding courage. So this is the time to get clear about why we're taking action when we feel that urge and that impulse to act. Why are we doing it? What are we doing it for? What matters? And what are you here to do, right? What is your life really about? What matters to you? Who do you care about? How can you work together with the people you care about to solve problems and make things better? All right. Thanks so much for being here. And I'm Marina Orms. My website, Astrology Heals, is where you can book a session to look at your own chart and get a reading, solar returns, readings, focus questions, whatever it is you would like to explore. We can do that by looking at your chart and how these planetary energies show up for you on a personal level, and how you can think about your life and what you are working on and doing. So check it out, astrologyheals.com. Hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please share and come back for more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.